We are living in such a cool time for board games and tabletop gaming in general. Never before have there been this many creative indie artists making evocative thematic games about basically anything you can think of. To the point where I sort of felt like there was a board game about everything. That is, until I heard about the game Nightshift from artist and former dancer Exotic Cancer. Seriously, how cool is this? In Nightshift, you pick from 5 different dancers with unique abilities, and you charm your way through the club finding worthwhile customers and getting your bag. There are a lot of games about war. I would wager to say most games are about war. And listen, I love games about war, but I really like this idea of about the opposite, games about love. Okay, love's not the right word. Pleasure. How about pleasure? Why not games about that? I was super curious to give this game a try, and I am so excited to tell you what I thought about it. We've got 4 game modes. Competitive, where you're trying to out-earn everybody. Solo mode, where you're trying to out-hustle a character named Diamond. 2v2, where you're playing duos against each other. And co-op mode, where the club is in trouble with the law and they have a big fine to pay, so all the dancers get together and they agree that they're going to donate the earnings that they make in one night. So far I've played solo and competitive, and both were a lot of fun. I really want to try co-op. I'm one of those players that I'm not necessarily trying to screw everybody over, except in video games. If you play Mario Kart against me, it's on. This game is for 1 to 5 players and takes anywhere from 40 to 90 minutes. I like that it's not a super huge time commitment. Also, this is an 18+ game, which I assume that you assumed, but I just feel like needs to be said. Alright, let's meet the dancers. We've got Ruby, Topaz, Emerald, Sapphire, and Amethyst. I picked Amethyst because she's a spooky goth gal, but they're also pretty and have their own unique abilities. They're printed in really cute colors, but you better believe I'm gonna paint these gals up. Maybe even do a little kit bashing. I've actually got a whole scheme and theme in mind that's actually based off a video that I did a little while back that also has to do with board games. I'll see if anyone can guess that theme. You'll see. So to start, you're gonna choose your adorable avatar to place in the locker room, collect their commitment token, as well as their dancer card, which details their abilities, and a handy little reference card. I'm a person who prefers to learn as I play, so the fact that they've made a video detailing gameplay as well as having reference cards like this, I love. The board is the club itself. It has the locker room, the club, including the stage, the private and VIP rooms. Customers are dealt face down, so you don't know who will be coming in that night. They're super fun to reveal, especially at the end of the night when it's lights on and everybody gets turned over. The customer cards are wildly entertaining and feature a cast of characters ranging from fun to absolutely ghastly. They have wealth rankings, preferences, a loyalty number. This will come into play if somebody wants to be mean and steal your customer away from you, and potential outcomes that can happen if you choose to engage with them. There's a lot to strategize with here, and they're definitely not all worth your time. Along with the really fun art, there's all these little details that really give everybody character and flesh out a little story. Ooh, the Caitlin card. It says that she's rumored to be the creator of Nightshift. Hope I get her in my next playthrough. I really love the handy game timer to keep track of turns. You can choose the length of time you'd like to play, which I am a big fan of. You can also look at the timer to see which specific rounds dancers are rostered to be up on the stage. This can be helpful in strategizing your time, which you'll definitely want to do in this game. Also, you don't use the dice to move, you use energy to take actions. This made sense to my miniature game playing brain. Not that my brain is miniature, I'm saying that my brain enjoys playing miniatures games. I can't begin to imagine how much work it is to design a game and do all the art for it, but I think it creates this really unique experience where you are looking at the game designer's specific vision. It really does make a game a unique experience. Nightshift is ultimately a game about strategizing and about customer service, but just in really high heels. You'll try to get customers to the private, or even better yet, the VIP rooms. That's where you're gonna make the most money. That's also where you're gonna get to play super fun mini games. I love games within a game. You've got to strategize your time schmoozing and flirting with customers, but also taking your shift on stage when it's time. You can be nice and help other dancers, you can focus on your own hustle, or you can be a little conniving and try to steal people away. Rude! Good to keep you on your toes. When I was a kid, I really liked Monopoly for the cute little miniatures and the fake money, but otherwise, I was bored out of my mind. I was reminded of that while playing Nightshift. Totally different games, but getting to flip through cute fake money, play with an adorable avatar, but actually this time during a game that I enjoyed playing. You'll notice on the turn board that there's also an event, a full moon. Hey Witty, what does the full moon indicate? Oh, I'm so glad that you asked. So when the moon is full and bright, strange things happen in the club. Reveal one of these cards to see what occurs. I love little wild card elements in games like this. This game is a fun balance of easy to pick up, but also requires some strategy, and I like having a curveball round to just make everything a little more interesting. There's also the fun addition of drink tokens that can aid you in your quest for cash. You start off with one shot and a glass of champagne, but you can head up to the bar and purchase more later. You can have 3 drinks on you at once, and they both do different things. You can take a shot to add +1 to dice rolls, which can really make or break an interaction, and champagne can help you cancel and redo actions when you take your customers somewhere for a little more privacy. Another thing to strategize is the choices to make when it's your turn to go up on stage and strut your stuff. If you're locked in with a customer, you can pay a fine to the club and stay with them, or you can ditch them and hop up on the stage, but they're gonna leave the club. I think their feelings are hurt a little bit. When you go on stage, you get 2 power cards and a $500 tip from all the tipping customers. Those are the customers that have not been flipped over yet. The ones that have been flipped by a dancer are distracted, so that's why they're not tipping. I like the little details in the game like this. All the mechanics make sense when you think about them. Like, for example, the power cards, you get those when you're up on stage. You're being powerful. You're the center of attention. These cards are one-time, unique effects with fun art to look at, and it really adds another level of interest to the game, as well as feeling of chance. Okay, so about the private room, because I know you're curious. When you take customers to the private room, it's mini game time. In here, private room cards are flipped to show dance moves and potential payoffs. You can draw as many dance moves as you want, but the thing is, if you do the same move too many times, your customer is going to lose interest. It's a push your luck mini game. It's such a fun idea. But if you push your luck too far and you've got a champagne token, just cash that in and redo the flip. And if you're successful, you can add that customer card to your hand. Nice. Now the VIP room is where you have the potential to earn the most money. Time for another mini game. This one is all about showing the customer that you are the complete package. That package being a combination of compassion, ego, fun, intellect, and fantasy. I like that all the dancers have a core trait that they embody the most, but to be the complete package, they have to showcase all of these. The push your luck in this instance is you can overplay a trait and come across as insincere, and that breaks the fantasy. This is a very self-aware game. So when I play games, I narrate what I'm doing, even if it's not necessarily an RPG. Like when I play Frostgrave, I'm narrating, I'm like, oh, my guy's doing this, oh, he just said this. So it's kind of funny to think about doing that in this game and think about what it would look like breaking the illusion by overplaying a trait. Oh, I overplayed ego. Maybe I was a little bit too rude to my customer. Oh, I overplayed intellect. Maybe I just spent too much time talking about some weird 4-hour YouTube documentary deep dive I did the other night. Oops. Customers collected over the course of the night remaining in your hand when the game ends, those are subscribers. You can add their loyalty at the end of the game and see how much bonus money you get. At the end of the night, the player with the most cash wins. If it's a tie, then you take the value of your remaining drink tokens and you add those up. If it's still a tie, then the player who can do the middle splits closest to the ground wins, which I think is hilarious, and also it definitely would not be me. Let me tell you a little bit about Exotic Cancer, the artist behind this game. An Australian former dancer, they created this game with the intention, in their words, to challenge stigma and negative industry stereotypes through promoting empathy and understanding. Their work, this game included, marries this super cute Barbie girl aesthetic with not body horror, I don't want to say that, but this unnerving level of physicality. Wrinkled, odd faces, spiky bits of body hair sticking out, drool. It alternates between cute and gross, and I really dig that. You should really check out their Instagram and their art in general and watch some of the animated shorts that they've made. There's this one where this guy is ordering his dream AI robot girlfriend, and it is so dystopian, it is so fun. They're all great, and honestly, I would watch an Exotic Cancer web series in a heartbeat. I really recommend that you read the interview that Exotic Cancer did with the Generations games. I've got that link down below. It's really interesting from a game design perspective, as well as just a social perspective. It made me think about the fact that I touched on earlier about just how prevalent violence is in gaming. I mean, again, don't get me wrong, I love violent games, but there are some really heavy things we talk about in gaming that we sort of just brush over, you know, real horrors like enslavement and torture, and we don't really think much about it. But meanwhile, a game like this comes out and there's this weird moral outrage about it. This game is designed by a former dancer, and it's a lighthearted, stylized version of people's experiences. So who is anyone to question or challenge that? It's clearly not a game for children, and it's not being marketed towards them, so I don't know. If you don't like it, don't play it. It's okay, you know, not everything has to be your thing. It's just a game, and you know what? It's a game that there are people who are going to have their real life experiences reflected in a way that usually in media it's the butt of a joke or some sort of cautionary tale, but this is just a lighthearted game. It's fun. This game is thematic, it's fun, and it's clearly more than just a titillating gimmick. It's really well thought through. It's really good. It's clear that this is a labor of love that a lot of hard work and thought was put into. And after 3 years of development, this game is coming to Kickstarter on June 20th. The Kickstarter and all of the relevant links will be down below. I have no doubts that this game is going to be a success and is going to be bringing a certain energy to a lot of game nights, you know, really switching it up. You can't tell me that you're going to show up to game night with this as your pick and you guys aren't going to end up playing it. Come on. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and thank you so much to Exotic Cancer for trusting me to share your game and talk about it with the Goblin Gang. I know that this has been a huge labor of love, and I don't take it for granted that you wanted me to showcase it. Congratulations, this is a super fun game that looks absolutely gorgeous. I hope you're very proud. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you loved the game, and I would love to hear in the comments down below what you think about it, what you think about non-combat based board games, what you think about games like Nightshift, and I'd love to hear which dancer you're gonna play as. Alright guys, I gotta get out of here. You know, these Nightshift minis aren't gonna kit bash and paint themselves, but in the meantime, don't forget that you are currently making the world a better place just by being you. It's like your superpower. So keep doing that. Bye guys!